All right, so here we go. This is just a polynomial expression. You're being asked to subtract polynomials. If you can't tell by the subtraction sign, it does also say the word difference. What should I do first? Thank you. What am I going to distribute in the first parentheses? Well, the first parenthesis is going to stay the same because I'm distributing a 1. So 7y squared minus 5y plus 11. What's going to happen to the second parenthesis? All the signs are going to change because I'm distributing a negative 1. So negative 9y squared plus 2y plus 4. Now we combine like terms. 7y and negative 9y squared is negative 2y squared. Negative 5y and 2y is negative 3y. And then 11 plus 4 is 15. So we go to all the choices. These are the ones missed the most, Ferris. Any questions? Okay, now there's a product. What does product mean? Yeah, and if you didn't know that, luckily it tells you that as well. So all I gotta do is, how do you multiply two binomials? What's the process called? FOIL, yeah. So x squared plus x minus 6x minus, you know what? Majority of you guys don't work these out, but some of you did, so let me give those back. This has no name, doesn't have much work either. Here, got C. So that way, if you did write down the work on any of these, go back and see what it's right or wrong. Combine like terms, x squared minus 5x minus 6. All right, radicals. Yeah, this is maybe a little hard to read, but it looks like we're multiplying. What's the rules for multiplying radicals? Yeah, inside with inside, outside with outside. 5 times negative 3 is negative 15. 12 times 6 is 72 on the inside. Wait, but I don't see that answer there. Well, yeah, neither do I, but even if you did, that still wouldn't be it because this can still be simplified. What can we still do? Yeah, that's exactly right. Factory. Good. So 2, 36, 2, 18, 2, 9, 3, 3. So I can bring out a 3 and I can bring out a 2. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 times a 15 that's already there is a negative 90. And the square root of 2 stays on the inside. All right, this one I don't know if you remember, but this one had there was two facets to it. Even though it looks like it's only one question, there was actually two. There was two rows. One asked you for the area, and one asked you for the perimeter. So both of those answers are there. You just have to figure out which one is area, which one's perimeter. So let's do the area first. How do you find the area of a rectangle? So yeah, length times width, which is just now multiplying. So that's 8x squared plus 12x plus 16x plus 24. 8x squared plus 28x plus 24. So which one was the area? Yeah, C. The area is C. But then you were also asked for perimeter, which you would think is easier, but you also have to know how to find it. Like that, I think the fact that these have variables in it might confuse some of you. How are you supposed to find the perimeter? Well, you're supposed to add all the sides. Most kids would say add all the sides, right? So, you could do it manually like that. To say, well, if the top is 4x plus 8, the bottom is 4x plus 8. If the right is 2x plus 3, this is also 2x plus 3. And then just go around the world. Add up all the x's, add up all the constants. That's one way of doing it. Another way of doing it, if you're going to be more clever, say, okay, how many sides measure 4x plus 8? Two of them. How many sides measure 2x plus 3? Two of them. So if you were to look in any book, they do give you a formula for perimeter. It's not as common as the area, but it is used in books, and they just tell you that the perimeter is really two lengths, which the lengths were 4x plus 8, plus two widths, which is 2x plus 3. Again, you didn't have to find it this way, but it's just another way of doing it. There's two of each, and the key is that they're being added. If you do it this way, then you distribute first. So we get 8x plus 16, and then plus 4x plus 6, and then once you combine it, it's 4x plus 22. You did not have to find it that way, but if you did, or even if you didn't, you should have ended up with D nonetheless. Ferris, if you drew Lantazon, that's gonna be weird, man. You're like in the danger zone. Sleepy. What value of x will make this true? All right, what's an easier way to describe what they're asking you to do? You can tell me in one word. What do they want you to do here? No, one word. One word. Tell me in one word, encompass everything you're being asked to do when they ask you to find an x that makes an equation true. They want you to solve. That's it. Just solve. Now within solving, yeah, first I would distribute. So I get 3x plus 45. Feel free to write this down. That's why I gave you those copies. Study. So distribute. Then combine like terms. Negative 3x plus 45 is equal to negative 6x plus 18. What do you want to do next, Chris? Say it again. You could subtract 45 from both sides, but it's not that it's wrong. It's just more a matter of preference. Until I have all the variables on the same side, I don't even want to worry about the constants. My focus is all on the variables. So, assuming you want to do it that way, what would be the best way to get all the variables on the same side of the equal sign? Nah, go ahead, Donnie. Well, not at 6, close though. Add 6x there, that's better. I want to add 6x. You could also add 3x, but then the problem you run into is your coefficient's going to be negative. You're going to have a negative in front. It's fine. You can still solve, but it's one more thing to mess up on. If all the x's come to the left, and they're like, yeah, we run this, we taken over, then you got to get rid of the 45. So minus 45 minus 45. So we get now positive 3x is equal to, should be negative 27. Divide by negative 3. This was one of those free response questions. So yeah, that's my solution, but how did I tell you to enter that into Google Forms? Yeah, just put the negative 9. Helps. I think it's Kira's fault. Here's solve. What should we do first? Distribute again, negative 2x minus 8 is equal to 2x plus 4. Chris, let's try to redeem yourself here. What should we do next? I wouldn't subtract 2 from both sides, no. You could subtract 2x, that's fine. You could. But then, nothing's going to cancel out here. What would happen is you would end up with a negative. Because, like, if you look in front of the x's are clearly on different sides. If you look at the front of them, I like to move the smaller one, because if you move the bigger one, you're going to end up with a negative in front. And there's nothing wrong with that. But again, that's just one more mistake that you could possibly make. So I would advise, what's smaller, negative 2 or 2? Yeah, so I'm going to move that one. But again, I want to make it clear, not because you have to. I'm not saying you're going to get it wrong if you did it your way, but I'm going to go plus 2x to move the x's over to the right. And then when they get there, Trayshawn's like, oh man, this 4 doesn't want to be here anymore. So minus 4 minus 4. Negative 12 is equal to 4x. Divided by 4. How would you have entered that into Google Forms? Just put the negative 3, don't put the x equals. Which mathematical sentence represents the solution for D? So this is a literal equation. We did these also. These are the ones, they're also known as formulas. They have several variables, and they just want you to isolate one of the variables. So this tells me 6e is equal to EF plus 3D. That means if I want to get D by itself, I have to get rid of all this. If I could somehow just erase that, then D would be by itself. But I can't just erase it. I have to do it using math. So what would I get rid of first and how? Very good. I am going to get rid of EF by subtracting. And the thing with literal equations is that you can't overthink them. More than likely, you're not going to actually be able to do the subtraction. This is more about isolating. It isn't so much about computation. It's just, okay, now they're on the same side. Cool. 6e minus EF is equal to 3D. Then finally just divide by 3. All the children rejoice because the D is isolated. Facts. Which number line represents the solution to the solution set to the inequality? So they want you to solve, but then in addition to that, you have to graph. So, okay. The set, what would I do first here to get x by itself? I want to get x by itself. What would I do first? Well, plus 4 is not going to help because this is the 4 out in front here that I need to get rid of, and this 4 is already positive. So what's the opposite of plus 4? It is going to be minus 4. Donnie, negative 4 minus 4 is not 0. It's not going to cancel. It's just going to give you negative 8. But then since Kira owes you one, because it's her fault that you got the other one wrong, she's going to tell you, how do you get rid of that negative 4 now? You are. But not just divide. Because I'm dividing by a negative, what else needs to happen? Change the sign. X is less than or equal to 2. And if that wasn't enough, now you have to know what that would look like on a graph. We know that the shading needs to start at 2. Either you're going to go from 2 to the left or 2 to the right. Because of this or equal to sign, the 2 needs to be shaded in. And then because the mouth is not eating the x, what direction are we going to shade? Use your words. Matt? Very good. And the one that has 2 shaded in to the left, it's negative 2, it was a positive 2, right? A positive 2, so it's going to be B. B as in boy. Not F as in Ferris, but B as in boy. Be careful somebody doesn't put your hand like in warm water. Things can get messy. Sue's age is 12 years less than, ooh, fun. So this is going to be writing on it. We have to write an equation here. Sue's age is 12 years less than twice Jack's age. J is Jack, S is Sue, which equation represents. So Sue's age, what did we call Sue's age? S. What do we call is when you say is? Equals, good. 12 years less than twice Jack's age. All right, let's think about that, because the thing is, too many of us just read this from left to right and we write it from left to right. But watch, when you're gonna be 12 less than something, like subtraction is not commutative. The order does matter. So if I have to be less than something, that something has to come first. Now that something is twice Jack's age. How would I write twice Jack's age? 2J. And then the thing is, the minus 12 has to be there. If you put C, and this is a perfect distractor type of answer, because if you just read it from left to right, you're going to want to put that one, but it isn't that one. It's let's see. Luis picked you over another one of his friends. He said that you're better friends with him than his other friend, so that was nice of him. All right, this one we just did recently. A y-intercept. How do you find y-intercepts? First of all, better yet, what form is this in? It is in standard form. And what's the formula for a y-intercept in standard form? Huh? C over B. So this is just 18 over negative 2. And I love the fact, I saw one person do it. So I love the fact that you're thinking about putting it as an ordered pair. But the problem is Google Forms doesn't like that. So if you're paying attention, what should you enter in for the answer here? Just negative 9. Ooh, standard form. They want slope. You could solve for y here, or if you studied, I gave you a formula for this too. Does anybody have it? We haven't used it as much. We definitely haven't used it as much, but it is on the notes, and we talked about it a little bit. Who remembers the formula I gave you for slope in standard form? Go back and look at the notes. It's there. Diana, do you know? Yahtzee? Negative a over b. So what does negative a means? Negative a means to change the sign of a. If a is negative 2, what's negative a? Positive 2. B is 3. That can't be divided or reduced. Right? You're going to kill it on that midterm? You're going to show that midterm who's boss? Okay. That's a spirit. Okay, good. All right, which equation best represents the graph of the line? If we look at all the answer choices, what forms are all the answer choices in? What form are all of these in? Like the quicker you answer, the quicker we finish. So, yeah, it is in slope intercept form. So the nice thing about looking at if they give it to you as they are here as a graph is that you can tell the y-intercept just by looking at it. Or is it going to cross the y-axis? There's a dot on it, so just what's there? It is going to cross at -7. So I already know that b is -7. What I'm missing is the slope. You can get any other point that's here. This one doesn't have a point that's just like highlighted for you. Well, yeah, this is challenging. I'm gonna go with right there. Looks like that point is pretty clearly on the graph. So that's gonna be -4, -4. So if I now do slope formula with the 2 points that I have, which are -4, -4, and 0, -7, I get -4 plus 7, and then I get -4 minus 0, which is 3 over -4, which is -3 over 4. Positive divided by negative is negative. So I'm getting a negative slope, which makes sense because on the picture this looked negative. It was going up, left, and down, right? The only one it could be is J. Which graph best represents, what form is that in? Standard. Now, the way I showed you the graph standard, the quick way, is just to find the intercepts. What was the formula for x-intercept? C over A, which, yeah, kind of sucks because it's going to give you a decimal here. It's 2.4, but at least I know that's somewhere between 2 and 3. The better one is the y, which is we just finished doing that 12 over -3. That gives you -4. Which one of these is crossing in between the 2 and the 3, but then also through -4? It's on the board right now. You can actually see it. The only two that are passing through -4 are these two on top, A and C. But then, which is the only other one that's also passing through positive 2.4 in between 2 and 3? Okay, like Apple. So peaceful. Okay, which equation best fits the data in the table? So this is just something that we finished doing not too long ago. When they give you a table, count this as 2 points. What form are all of these in? Slope intercept, good. And look, and if you understand how to read a table, one of the nice things is they're already giving you the y-intercept. When x is 0, the y is the y-intercept. So I know that it has to be one of the ones with a -15. Even if I were to guess, if I was allergic to slope formula, Matt, I've at least narrowed down my guesses. But I'm gonna pick 2 points. Donnie, you've been okay today. I'll let you pick the 2 points. Pick whatever 2 points you want for slope. Doesn't matter. He wants negative 2, negative 33, okay? And negative 1 and negative 24. Good enough. So negative 33 plus 24, negative 2 plus 1. The nice thing about picking 2 points that are next to each other is that on the bottom, where the run goes, you're either going to get a positive 1 or a negative 1. Here I get a negative 1. On the top, I get a negative 9. Negative 9 divided by negative 1 is positive 9. So which one of these has a slope of positive 9 and a y-intercept of negative 15? Right, Ferris? I had a bunch of people raise their hand for this one throughout the day. Mr. Romero, this is way too hard. I have no idea how to do this. This is just understanding function notation. When that negative 3 is inside the parentheses, what does it count as? Yeah, an x. So all they want to know is, what is the y when x is negative 3? If I go look at the picture, this is the point that this is negative 3, positive 2. So what should my answer be? What would I have typed in? When x is negative 3, y is 2. Domain. What does domain mean? We talked about that recently. This was on this last test. What does domain mean? Yeah, Donnie. Well, it's associated with x, but it's more than just saying x. It has to do with what are all the x's? What are the set of x's that are contained in the function or the graph? So in this case, like how far does this go left and how far does this go right? The leftmost point is negative 5. The rightmost point is 3. The purpose of the brackets is just to mean that those boundaries are contained in the graph. That's because they have these solid points there. So which one there says from negative 5 to 3? Just for fun, as a bonus question, let's say this would have asked me for range. I don't remember if it asked you for range or not, but if they ask you for range, now instead of going from left to right, we go from bottom to top. And I think that's kind of the reason why some people mess up more with range. It's not necessarily that they don't understand it, it's that they're just used to scanning any type of an image from top to bottom. But we need to go from least to greatest, so we got to go from bottom to top. What's the range here? How low to how high? It would be from negative 1 to positive 6. So you would write bracket negative 1 to 6. That would be the range if you were to be asked for range. El rango. El rango. The value of f of x is equal to 3x minus 2. Okay. So this is the exact same thing we just saw with the graph. But now instead of giving us a graph, because the negative 2 is in the parentheses, what does it count as? It counts as an x. So get that and put it in here. F at negative 2 is equals 3 times negative 2 minus 2, which is negative 6 minus 2, which is negative 8. What am I going to put into the Google form? Negative 8. Just the negative 8. Finish? No? 3 more, and then freedom. Ooh, yeah, okay, this one I get. I mean, you gotta be a little bit clever here. Huh? Yeah, that's the thing. You gotta, because your instinct is you see this square and you see a parenthesis, and you're so used to getting rid of parentheses by distributing, but exponents cannot be distributed. Only multiplication can. So you have to, when you square something, what is that the same thing as doing? Times itself, yeah. Times itself. So 3a plus 2, 3a plus 2. So you get 9a squared plus 6a plus 6a plus 4. So 9a squared plus 12a plus 4. Bye. Please. See, Ferris, you're being a bad influence. Luis wants to be just like you. You know that everything you do, he's going to do. You're Venezuelan? You're not his father? Oh. Yeah, no, you're just his role model. He looks up to you. He knows how popular you are with the ladies, so he just, everything you do, he wants to copy. Watch on Monday, he's going to come in with that haircut. Did I give you one of these, Vincent? There's no makeup for that because that wasn't its own grade. That was just for grade replacement. So it didn't negatively affect your grade that you were here. It didn't positively affect it, but it didn't negatively affect it. Write this expression. Okay, so this is kind of like the one we saw with that Sue and Jack problem. 7 less than 2 times a number. So if you write it the way you see it, you're gonna want to pick this one here. But since subtraction is not commutative here, you're going to be less than something. Now, another thing I want you to realize is if they would have stuck the word is in there. Now, is less than. If something is less than, well, yeah, you would think is means equals, but when you say is less than, it just means a comparative symbol. It doesn't necessarily have to be an equal sign. It actually would have been a less than sign if it would have said is less than. But it just says 7 less than, which is supposed to be something minus 7. That number is 2x minus 7, so C. Like as in cat. Meow. And then finally, the last one, find an equation of a line containing the point. So that we did this real recently too. I think this one was multiple choice, but it had them written in. But I doubt I would have had you type this in. So let's end up in slope intercept. No, well, it would be the y. See, remember this is x1, y1, and this is m. So it would be y minus 4 equal to 8, and then x plus 2. They want you to end up in point slope, you just stop there. But I believe this one had you go all the way to slope intercept. So what would I do next? Distribute y minus 4 is equal to 8x plus 16 plus 4 plus 4. So they already gave you the slope. If there would have been some type of follow-up question as to like where's the y-intercept, where's it going to end up crossing the y-axis? At where? Thank you. So that's it for me. Is there any problem that anybody recalls? I gave you 2. That maybe you felt was like the hardest thing ever that I did not go over. These were the ones missed the most overall, but. Things to remember, the homework is due by Sunday night. This week it's on Delta Math, and you have the midterm on Monday.